Alright YouTube, in this video we are going to look the question number 12 of JavaScript interview question. Now we're going to convert a string into camel case. Type sum of the string. The string name is usually be an variable name. The starting letter would be small and then capital again over here and capital over here. Wherever the space is there, I want to remove it, and immediately after the space I want to make that letter capital. And that's what I did, and these are the function we are going to use. So let's get started. Let me start everything from scratch. We have one input field and one button. So when I click on a button, the function will get triggered, and that function will simply get the value from the input field, which we have already covered in the previous three videos, and this is the fourth one. So now we'll get the input field value when I click on a button. If you don't understand how it's coming, please feel free to look at the previous video which I have created, so that you can get clear understanding how we got it. Now we want to get the input field value, and I want to replace it with the regular expression. We'll find the regular expression, the first parameter, and in the second parameter, once we get the result from the regular expression, what we have to do. So I want to get the non-word. The capital W is simply the non-word. In the previous video we have seen what small w is, and capital W is simply the opposite of small w. The capital W does not include the word, small letters, capital letters, and number 0 to 9 and underscore. The capital W, you can also say it's a non-word pattern matcher. Now the plus, simply do not stop at first search and go for the second search. And you can say in the regular expression, you will see you'll come across a word like n plus, that means 1 and more than 1. So we need to find the non-word character which is 1 and more than 1, and once we want to perform an operation, or you can say logic. So we need to add one more pattern, which is dot, which is used for single word. Find a non-word character, and after the non-word character get the first letter, which is dot, which is what the dot does. So we'll get the matched word over here, and with the help of matched, we want to make the letter as uppercase. The non-word here simply refers to the space, and immediately after the space we want the letter to be converted to uppercase. That's what that's what we are doing here. Let me create a variable, and you can see that is undefined. Let me see why. We have not returned. We have to return the value. Once we get the match, we want to manipulate the value and convert it to uppercase, and we need to return it. That's what I have done. So you can see there is a space, and in the previous video we have come across we can pass multiple parameters. So we'll be using the character, and I have also covered what the character does. Once we pass two patterns, here we are passing two patterns. The first pattern is W and the second pattern is dot. So in place of character index, we'll be getting the actual character in the char variable. If I refresh it again and show you, and that's working absolutely fine. And you might be confused, the character in the previous one we were getting it as an index, but now we are getting it as an string. How it is possible? It is because we are passing two pattern. The first one is capital W and the second one is dot. You can see in place of this is the match text, we are getting it with the space. So the matched simply gives space with letter. We don't need that. We need the character, that is excluding the space. We don't need the space. We just need the letter. So let me make it character. And if you see, you'll get the character, not the space. If I try to select it, it's simply the character. So we need the character and we need to convert it to uppercase and return the string. And I have to print the screen on the console as new string. One or more than one, and it's a single word after non-word, which is space. We get the non-word, which is space, and the dot is simply right after the space. We have to select a single word. And what the char gives you, char gives you the single word after the space. It just gives you the next letter without the space. Now it's a camel case one. You will be seeing all the spaces removed, and immediately there is a letter, and it would be converted to capital letter. The space after the letter is getting converted to capital. Fine. Now let's get into the another question. We need to uncamel case it. So if you type the camel case letter, and if you want a space, you should leave it as blank. And if you want a separator, let me change the button to uncamel case. Pass the variable, and if you don't need any separator, in this case I need underscore as a separator. So in place of hello and word, there would be underscore in between both of them, and that acts as a separator. Now I need hyphen. Now if you leave it blank, it will simply the space. Fine. Now let me remove it and start from scratch. We have two text field, and each of them I have identified with the id, variable and separator. And we have a function. When I click on a button, these functions get triggered and it will get all the input field value. So if the separator is blank, we want to make it as space. So for that, let me assign the value separator to space. And now let's get into the variable value. We need to replace the space, or in this case it's not a space. We have used camel case. That means at least there would be one single word of capital letter. So get that one capital letter, at least one capital letter. We need to use plus, at least one capital letter, and we need to convert it to small letter. And not just small letter, we need a space before the small letter. The match text should be converted to lowercase, and not just lowercase, we need to have a space. So if you see, there is a space. Let me add a space, and in this case it's a separator. If it is blank, it would be space. If it is not blank, it would be the passed value. Let me store it into a new variable so that we can show the message on the console. So if you see, if I don't pass any separator, it is simply the space. If I pass a separator, that is plus, you will get the plus. If you want to pass underscore, it is underscore in between both letters, and now it's hyphen. And now you can see the camel case is converted to a words. Now it's another interview question, which is truncate a string if it is longer. So let me pass a sentence, and we want to truncate the length. I want to truncate the length, let's say 50. I need to get only 50, and after the 50 I want the comma. After the 10 letter I want comma. After 15 letter I want comma. So by default it is 20, because I have hard coded the value 20. If you don't pass any sentence length, it is 20, and if you don't pass anything on the symbol, it would be ellipse, that is dot dot dot, and you can replace it with comma comma comma. So I hope it is clearly understood what I meant. If you want space, you can have space over there. So here we will be just using the substring function of the string. So I have used 3 input field here. Each of them is identified with ID. So when I click on a function, the truncate function is going to get executed, and it will get all the input field value. So it's a function which gets all the input field value with the help of property value. So what do we need? If the let's set the default value for both the separator and the length. Default length if field is left blank. So get the variable default, get the variable name, and if it is nothing, if it is left blank, what we have to do is we have to assign a variable 20. So now it's time for the ending symbol. If the ending symbol is left blank, or if the symbol input field is left blank, what we have to do is we have to initialize it with dot dot dot, which is in the programming way we say ellipse. And now let's get the sentence, and we need to extract the sentence based on the required length value, starting from 0. 0 refers to the 0th index of the string till the length we pass, and we need to store it into a variable called new string so that we can output the variable on the console of Chrome Inspector. And there is a space, it's a string, we need to pass a string. So if you see, if I type this sentence and I just need only 10, and if I both of them is left, if I make them both of them left blank, what is happening here is only 20 letter is selected. It is technically not letter, it is index. and previously there was no symbol. Now you will see the symbol will be over there. It's an ellipse sign because it is a default value. And now by appending the symbol, what happens is the length is increased because we have added 3 more letters. So if it is 20, it will be 20 plus 3. So for that, what you have to do is we have to subtract the length of the string, which is -3. So now if I pass a string, I want only 10 index, 10, the length to be only 10. So if I make it 15, so I need 30 letters. These 30 letters is also including the space. If you leave it blank, it would be ellipse. If you make space, there will be a space after the symbol, after the sentence. And in place of substring, you can also use slice. And that's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening. This is the 4th video. I would recommend you to go from first to fourth in the same order as I have uploaded.